Namaste. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Ni hao. Buenos dias. Ese che. Buenas tardes. Aquaba. Welcome. What up, though? This is Cafe Melange. And it is week dos. Session uno. Continuing on. The head wrap is going to be what it is. So, I consider how to structure these joints topically. Again, it's me, Dolo, and as it is, then what I'm going to talk about. I mentioned Thursdays being a day for like being light. I mentioned the intention of giving an update on previous work that's done. This joint is bothersome though. And then additionally, there's other stuff to talk about, and so how to put all that into the mix. I am reluctant in officially scheduled Mondays for this day, Tuesday for that day, third Wednesday this, that, and the other, specifically for the whole week because it's very rigid and yeah. So then I consider there being a day for doing business, sharing like updates about work and stuff like that. Then there's also storytelling, contemporary topics, and additionally. So I have yet to like go into detail about the Baha'i call. I intend to abstain from doing that today either. It's Shreya called. I'm doing well, Shreya. How are you doing?
Doing good.
I'm glad to see you.
You too.
Actually, I have something for you.
Yeah.
Haha. You're gonna be like, yo, Peter, what is this? But this might be hi. This might be topic for another convo.
Okay.
How are you doing, by the way?
Good. Enjoying the day.
All right. Your blouse is nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So yeah, I mean, you can read it now. You can read it later,
Okay.
or you can tell me like, Peter, what is the why? What is this? But
What is this? I'll remember how to love everybody.
all right. Shri Guru Granth Sahib.
Yes.
Have you ever any interest in reading that?
I've already read it.
You've already read it? Have you ever interest in like talking about it?
As far as what's concerned,
like life?
Yeah. I mean, the Granth is mostly an amalgamation of like texts taken from others.
And it's a beautiful thing.
And it is, and a lot of like poetry, like Sufi poetry, especially.
That's
and it is.
It's one of what we call a pillar of pluralism.
Yeah.
And because it draws from all the different backgrounds of that day and before that day, and it says, "Hey, ek encore."
Yeah. My favorite scriptures from the Granth actually is something that that my people Sikhs especially forget. It's like when they talk about, because the Granth is like it's a newer religion, so it's like there's Christian aspects and Muslim aspects especially, and it talks about like refers specifically to like Son of Light, which is Jesus, and like Hindu gods and like Allah, and they're like we're all men of nature, so we have no right to say who's good and who's bad. But I don't know, it's something to remember in like a separatist world.
A separatist world, Maya, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now see, I've read like the beginning portion of it, and then I started getting into like the rest of it.
Okay.
If you know what I'm talking about,
Okay.
like there's a portion that's distinguished as like
the nickname is the beginning.
Okay, yeah, and then after it's maybe like for 30 or 40 pages, and then after that begins. I have like 7 volumes. It's
Yeah.
huge. Um, so a lot of people honk you, and sometimes I don't know who they is.
Yeah,
So we
it's
got to be
okay.
careful about that because
Yeah.
they're not necessarily honking for the right reasons. So anyway, that's another story. And they're not necessarily honking for the wrong reasons. But anyways, like it goes to like the beginning portion, and then in the translation that I'm reading, it says, "Now here begins like the rest of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib." And then when I get to that part, there's this language that becomes very difficult for me to read.
Yeah.
Being a single dude, and additionally, but it starts talking about God as the bridegroom and the spiritual husband. And so I've talked to Sikh brethren about this. I'm like, yeah, that's part of the theology. But again, just coming from a hypersexualized background, and additionally, it's difficult for me to kind of fully embrace that concept. I do get it, and it exists in additional religious traditions. But I wanted to ask you what's your experience
bear
with
in
that?
mind that the Granth was written long after the Sikh religion started.
Sure,
So
right.
while, like,
Tense
I mean, with
session.
every book of religious text, like, you have to take what you can from it. I personally don't really follow that idea of the Granth. Like, I
Okay.
like Guru Nanak's idea more. Sikh religion wasn't supposed to be a religion.
Okay.
He just said, pray to the light,
Ah.
be good to your brothers, end all be all. That's it.
Okay.
And the Granth was like, that's supposed to be your final guru. That's our 10th guru. Is like the last one was this book that people created. But again,
Hi.
it's humans that decided what goes in that.
What do you think about what do you think about
My turn? Yes, my turn.
how you doing, brother? All right. The 10th, not the 10th guru, but the guru that precedes that, who establishes the Khalsa.
Yeah.
His name escapes me at the
Guru
moment.
Gobind Singh.
Thank you. We talked about him before. So when you talk about the difficulty of like Sikh as a religion, he pretty much was like the epitome of establishing it as a traditional thing. So, but he's also a very charismatic, endeared
But why
figure.
did he have to establish the religion? Like, that's where the historical background and historical context matters, because Sikhs needed an identity to be seen by others. Like, that's why it's like the 5 things that every Sikh should carry. Like,
Sure.
should have is a one comb, like
Right.
the
bracelet,
bracelet
the knife
made of iron, so
Okay.
you remember humility, because it's the basest of all metals. A kirpan, so you're always ready to fight for what you believe in for the people around you. Ganga, because all you should have, you should never be vain. You should only have no mirror, just something to comb your hair, because you're supposed to look rude. But he created the image of like Sikhs wearing turbans, so that, because there were huge, Gobind was a Sikh prince. He was, again, context matters. He was a very wealthy man. But he saw the need, like, between Hindus and the Muslims always fighting, that there needed to be someone in the middle to stop and stand. And that's why, like we have, like, the Khanda is the double-edged sword and the scimitars, but they form, like, a halo. Because Sikhs, you're supposed to be saints and soldiers, so you're supposed to know martial law and, like, be able to defend yourself from others, but also be closer to God so you make the right decisions.
Yeah.
But I honestly, like, people have carried that so far, like, oh, you can't cut your hair because that's a sign of vanity. And people have used that in a controlling manner, not letting their women cut their hair, not letting their women shave their legs, like, all of that, because it makes you a bad Sikh. The Granth, like, and same thing with the Granth, it came later. Nanak had tattoos, but in Sikhism, they say that tattoos and piercing yourself is bad. And I'm like, no, you said that that's bad. It doesn't really matter.
So, are you saying that, like, according to your understanding or
my personal belief
your
of
belief,
what Sikhism is,
the religiosity emerges after Guru Granth Sahib?
The religiosity, yes, it starts after that, because it's all interpretation of a text.
Okay.
Now that there's a text, people can interpret it as they will. And not only that, that text itself is others' interpretations of different sacred texts and poems. Nanak didn't want it to be a religion. Nanak wanted to separate from religions because he understood that sometimes religion causes strife in itself. That's why 2 of his closest friends, one was a Hindu and one was a Muslim. So I actually like the Afghan practice of Sikhism more than I like.
You said the Afghan?
Yeah, than the Indian practice of
Okay,
Sikhism.
interesting. Okay.
Because there is still a pretty large population of Sikhs in Afghanistan that's originally where Nanak would have been from,
Ah,
but they are closer to the truth of the religion than Indian Sikhs are. Especially now, I don't know if you know about Khalistan and stuff. Like it's a huge separatist
the
movement.
nationalism, the nationalist point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the challenge of success.
Yes.
When something becomes conventionalized,
Yes.
and then people vie for ascension within the hierarchy and the trappings that come with that success, and then that notion of us and them becomes increasingly
Yeah.
entrenched, and all the mechanisms that facilitate those us and them, and then where we are along that hierarchy of us. And so again, that's like the catch-22 of like a spirituality, because for it to continue generationally, generation after generation, in Hebrew it's called dor vador, for it to continue generation to generation, there has to be some kind of like practical structure that facilitates the cohesion within society. How to resolve disputes, how to do marriages, right? How to do even inheritance, things like that. Now that difference in different religions, but there are certain like rules of thumb or guidance that's spiritually conferred that people provides guidance to people to do that along generation after generation. Um, but
And that works for a certain time, but
that's what I'm saying. Buenas
we're in the
tardes.
21st century now, where that's not a necessity. Now we have to look for spirituality. Now it's another part of us. We have laws that govern now inheritance and marriage and all those things.
But are you just substituting those laws as like the religiosity that you that
No,
you
I think the two are separate. I think by taking away that part of religion where religion kind of gave you the rules and how to like live the day-to-day life, now that you've taken that away and made that a regular thing, now you can focus on the actual spiritual nature of religion, which is how to be good to yourself and to others.
Sure.
And I mean, if you really want a happy society, you need a very homogenous mix of people. And
you think so?
Yes, because that teaches you it's not a very like accepted thought, I think, but it's you start putting everything in an us perspective, okay, instead of an I perspective.
But do you think you need a homogenous environment to have that experience?
It
sounds like you're describing like a transcendent kind of consciousness, yeah, that just recognizes everything as homogenous.
People can't do that every day. You do. You see
don't think so?
In front of no. I see like I mean maybe another 100, 200 years we will be able to, but
maybe some do,
first?
And just not. It's not the
Yeah,
norm.
some, but not in the general thing. We still see skin color. We still see gender. We see appearance, socioeconomic status.
So I'm going to ask you this question on another like way topic, but it's connected. I'm actually it's not like a question; it's a statement, and then see what your reaction is. You ready for it? I'm not human.
Yeah.
I'm not human. Okay. You're too quick to say yes.
That's because Nate and I talk about this all the time, and it's like, no, we're mammals. We're animals, just like the squirrels around you. And human is just a word that we've given ourselves. Go back to it's a taxonomical identity label. Okay. And that's all that it is. Okay. We've given it to ourselves. So you're identifying as like as a larger framework of an animalistic being. Because if you do that, then you have to incorporate all of the other animals that are part of your family or your domain, and then you have to think things for them as well. Okay. Or, like think things in conjunction to them. That is the I versus us mindset. Okay. Then you're thinking more on a community level. Right. Which again is better for everybody around you. Sure. So here's what I mean when I say I'm not human. Mm-hmm. This is one of the things I've observed within humanity, amongst all religions, all societies, and additionally, humans are predatory. Humans either live off the death of others or the suffering of others, yes, one way or another. Even intraspecies like humans feed off other humans. Slavery, sexual exploitation, indebtedness, and additionally, feeding off of others. And so there are teachings within our religious traditions, within our spirituality that say don't live predatory. But again, those seem to be like the epitome
epitomal teachings, if I can utilize that word. Like that's like somebody ascended to like that great height and said this is what it should be. But then as it transcends, people kind of revert back to those predatory tendencies again through the us versus them hierarchy,
Yeah.
or binary, and then through the additional hierarchies. So my consideration is one, stop eating other beings, and that Nate and I talked about the veganism before, and so
Yeah.
that's part of it. But even things like indebtedness, oppression, fair trade, and
Yeah.
additionally, not living off the oppression and exploitation of others, and like not just because like some like vacation kind of like, oh, this is a nice thing to do, holiday kind of thing, but no, lifestyle, like, nah, I can't even like, this is not nourishing for me because somebody else's blood, sweat, and tears are infused within whatever I'm consuming. And so it's a matter of like holistically um, withdrawing from that and living off offerings and like the benevolence of others. Now that might seem kind of unrealistic or impractical, but it's that kind of conscientiousness that I'm proclaiming when I say I am not human. So that's
I mean, it's exactly like what I'm saying is that if you're looking at things on a more community basis, if you stop like singling yourself out as this like as the pinnacle of like animalistic evolution, like we are it. Like the moment you stop thinking that, the moment you realize, no, I am part of this species. My species group is this. I belong to this family of species, and we belong to this domain, and we are from this kingdom. Like you look at it, you realize, no, I'm part of this. Then you're of course going to automatically include all those things that in your sphere of influence. You're going to make decisions according to those things. So yeah, if I look at it, be like, man, was it? I don't know. I think you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But that's why, like, I want to eat fewer animals, or like want to whatever. Peter, long talk.
I know it's heavy,
Yeah.
heavy, but that's what the flyer is about, having that type of convo,
Yeah.
and like being increasingly rooted within the sat, within the truth that within the truth that we want to be and we want to live. So that's the idea. And she's like, it's about time, we're ready to go. 20 minutes ago. Are you just absorbing it, just quiet, or
No.
okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I like you here too, by the way.
Have a great day.
Bye. So that's already 15 minutes in this joint. I mentioned business. I mentioned topical discussions. I mentioned uh, lightheartedness. I mentioned storytelling, and additionally, so this is actually a contemporary topic kind of joint. Already 18 minutes in this joint, and uh, this was already anticipate this joint being longin, a longin. We'll see how much we go. Maybe it'll be a part dose later on. Um, but um, what I have to share for today is reviews on Melange brethren who do that YouTube thing. So um, the basic idea, I haven't worked it out too tough. It's just a concept, but my thought is to just name some Melange YouTubers that I know off rip, meaning that I know of off rip, um, and then I and then giving a review. And basically, the idea is not to uh, like a critique per se, but like just an experience, what my thoughts are. And the thought was is to share like my favorite low upload and my least favorite upload of each one. To be honest about the each one. And I'm trying to be mindful not to be too harsh because I'm a harsh dude. I'm harsh on myself and I'm harsh just in general. So I have to temper that. How you doing, bro? All right. Um, I have to temper that and recognize that cats don't necessarily take it the way it's intended or otherwise. So, um, but also want to be honest and candid. Um, so what I'm gonna do is begin with myself, and then see how we go from there. So Peter Johansson OCC. Oh yeah, least favorite upload, most favorite upload. So my most favorite upload, who knows? I share a lot, a lot. And when Decipher, when like getting through all the extraneous stuff and everything else like that, I don't edit because who got time for that? Yo, serious. Um, I share some gems, yo, and I speak. I'm bearing testimony to myself, so that's egotistical and whatever else, whatever. However, that being said, like, and a lot of the same things that I share in these posts, but also in my writings, I'm like, oh, wow, that's amazing. And that's not me like big upping myself because I'm nothing. All grace to God. Um, what I'm saying is that that's amazing. What's being communicated, and it's awesome, and I appreciate it. I'm just a vehicle, a facilitator, whatever, and a lot of it's over cats' heads. A lot of it's for later generations. But um, so when I say think of like a favorite one, um, it's difficult to decide one specific one or one that jumps out to mind at the moment. There are a lot of awesome ones. Now the thing is, I don't go back watching all of them. I just go back from what I remember. Now, what my least favorite one is, haha, who cares? Yo, there's a lot of. I'll basically just sum it up in like a lot of awkward TMI. Who is this dude? What's he on? Um, some people for a YouTube career, if they start a career and go for about a month and have 10 videos and about 1,000 subscribers, they're doing kind of decent after about a month. For me, I've been doing this for about a decade, and I've got about 1,000 videos on all the different channels and joints that I started, and I've got about 10 subscribers. So you can do the math on that one. Fantastic is yeah, right. Um, so a lot of it is awkward, a lot of it is extraneous, a lot of it is But oh yeah, what's he on? Haha. Yeah, if you look at a lot of stuff, I look somewhat different than I do today, and some of the articulations a number of years ago, you might observe some straining. You might observe a lot of franticness, and the more I'm on the street, so I'm paying attention to the angles. Um, But in previous videos, a number of years ago, you might notice like just straining to get something out, to say something. So you're like, yo, what is that dude on? Haha. Plausibil, Risperidol, Geodon, and additionally, the consequence of being afflicted and oppressed within Babylon. So yeah. Now today I'm on life, um, and uh, healthy. Uh, but still, there's always the continual challenge and the continual wrestling. Um, but oh yeah, fake Jamaican. Uh, what else? Loser in life. Um, what else? Thirsty, can't get a woman. Um, and is no qualms about it. No sense of shame. No pride. All that. Um, all those criticisms, all those critiques, there's an element of truth within each one of those. Um, Wanker, uh, doesn't know limits of social etiquette and propriety, element of truth to all of that. Some further historical than current, but element of truth to all of that. But guess what? There's an infinite truth beyond all of that as well, and the consideration is how much and how so, and to put it in balance. So, uh, if we're going to talk about my least favorite videos, it's those that conjure that experience within others, that observation, that criticism, that condemnation within others. So uh, I just share what I share. I'm as honest as I can be. I'm as loving as I can be, and even I'm as modest as I can be. Um, and some cats, some cats are and trust in God. So now we go on to other YouTubers. So what my plan is to to go quick on a few that are going on today and that are active today, and then go into some that are on hiatus, defunct, or doing other things at this moment. Um, so I'll start with the ones that are fresh in my freshest in mind. Um, the first one we'll start off with is C Bud, Casey Bud. So she's been doing YouTube for a number of years, and since she was in university, haha, I got to wrap these up now. I'll say a list of them who I plan to talk about. Um, C Bud, Max Capo, Cedric Sky Seti, I think is what he goes by. Erica Lyon, uh, Mask, Multiracial Association of Southern California, Hapa Mag. Um, let's see what else. Um, I'm gonna throw Mixed Remixed in there as well, uh, as like current joints, and that gets like kind of into the borderlands. Then there's also I'm gonna continue with Mixed Remix, and then Mixed Chicks, Mulatto Diaries. Being careful with that word mulatto. Um, what else in the archives? Oh, 100% Mix Show. Um, let's see, who else? Um, oh, Addicted to Race and Racialicious. How you doing, bro? With Jennifer Chow and Carmen Van Kerkhove. Signoni, I think, is her married name. And Jen Chow Fontan is her married name. Um, and then Mixed Chicks with Heidi Duro and Fanchon Cox. The sister with Mulatto Diaries, her name escapes me at the moment. She's got like 100 videos or something like that. Um, 100% Mixed Show with Philip Koo and the cast, the crew that works with him. Um, trying to think what else. That's what I'll share for the moment. I got joints to do.
Your lines in the back of your head, do you?
Almost. I'm gonna sign off on this and I'll say hi to you. You're okay. You're okay. Namaste. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Zaijan. Adios. Techakuris. Sempre na asabu. Kalik. Fred. One love and peace.